Hi, this is Kat with Beadaholique, and in this video I'm going to show you how to do a basic cubic right angle weave in a rope style. So for example, I have my necklace here that I've done, and this uses that beautiful cubic raw, or CRAW some people call it, but it is a cubic right angle weave, and you can see just as I'm holding it here that it has a little bit of kind of a rectangular shape, like a 3D shape. And these are using the 4mm Czech fire polish beads, so you really get to see that weave. And you can use many different styles of beads for this, and it's just a great little technique. But today I'm going to show you, again, like I said, using the Czech fire polish 4mm beads. And today I'm going to be using the smoke FireLine so that you can see it nice and clearly. And you're also going to need a size 12 beading needle. And I've already added a little bit of a length of thread, so we are all set to begin. So cubic right angle weave starts the same way that a right angle weave will start. So just go ahead and pick up 4 beads onto your needle and thread them down towards the end. And if this is your beginning part, you'll want to leave a really nice long tail so that you can attach whatever clasp you like. But for the purposes here, we don't need to leave too long. So I'm going to now take my needle and go back up through the first 2 beads. Some people go all the way around. I like to just do the first 2. So you pull it together and you kind of move it around with your fingers there as you get that first unit all set to go. And it's a little wobbly, so I'm actually going to go through that 3rd bead there. I find that when you're starting it, it's kind of preference as to how you want to do it, but this is just one way. So there are many other schools of thought, but I'm just showing you kind of one way to do this. So now you're just going to keep building onto your unit of 4 there by picking up 3 beads because we already have 1 in place. And I'm going to take my needle and go down through this way and pull that through. So you can see that I have my 2 units of 4 beads for a total of 7 beads that I've used so far. And I have my thread coming out through here. So what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to take my needle and put it through that bottom one right there. And now I'm going to put it through this top one here. Now, especially when you're doing cubic right angle weave, I definitely suggest you don't cheat, meaning you don't try to get your needle through both of those beads at the same time. You'll end up with kind of a little kink in them. So you don't want to do that, and you'll notice that as you sort of work that it really does help you to sort of not cheat that thread path there. Okay, so we're going to do one more unit. So again, pick up 3 beads because we already have 1 and go down through that bead right there. Pull that together. And now I'm going to go across 1 and pull that tight. Just like that. And then I'm going to go down through this other bead right here. So now this is the work that I have, and you can see that it's a little wobbly. It's not too tight, but don't worry about that. You'll end up kind of tightening it up in this next step. So what we have here is we have 3 units. These 2 share that bead, and these 2 share that bead. Okay? So this is what your work should look like. So let's continue. So what you're going to do now is you're going to take these 2 beads on the ends here, and you're going to kind of fold it like a little taco. You see that? So I just took these 2 ends and folded it up. So now I'm just going to pick up my work. So I still have those 2 beads kind of butted right next to each other. And now what you're going to need to do is build a unit on the outside here. So I'm going to pick up 1 bead, and I'm going to go through this bead right here. And now to complete that, I'm going to pick up another bead and go through this bead here. Now, because this is your first unit, this is where you're going to start tightening up your work a little bit. Because as you can see, it's still really wobbly. So I'm actually going to go around 1 more time. And remember, don't cheat. Go through each bead once. or go through each bead one at a time. All right, so now I've got 2 thread paths in there. And you can see that piece starts to tighten up a little bit. So I have my tail coming out here and my other side coming out here. And now what I want to do is I want to go back through and link up each unit that is not sewn together. So this is the unit I just did, and you just rotate and flip it. So I still have my needle thread coming out here. So now all I'm going to do is try to make this a nice little square. Go through one bead, go through the other bead, making sure to not catch your tail in there. And through that last bead. Now again, I'm gonna go ahead and go around one more time. And you'll notice that it might seem like there's a lot of thread going on, but this is that first unit. So I don't mind that, also because this is where I'm going to be attaching my clasp. So I really want a nice, strong unit. All right, and then I'm just gonna rotate it one more time. And as you can see, these ones are actually all attached. So what you're going to do is just going to rotate it one more time. And now you're attaching this unit here. So all you're doing is kind of tightening up each of those little units of 4 with an extra thread path. And you'll see how this starts to get nice and tight. You're also seeing a lot of that thread because I'm using that smoke color. So, but if you are using a lighter colored beads, as I did in my example there, you're going to want to use a little bit of a lighter crystal FireLine. Okay, so now I have my beads, my thread coming out here. So now, as you can see, you kind of start to see those units in each place, but there's one unit that's not connected, and it's this top one here, because I've only gone through once with my thread. So this is the place where I'm going to work off of. So what I need to do is to just work my needle back around and up and through here. And I'm going to go all the way through this unit at the top. Okay. So this is what your sort of little starting ball should look like. You have your 4 little beads making each little unit on the top. And now, just to set this down for you, so I'm going to be working in this direction. So I have my tail coming out here, my start here, and this is where I'm going to start my work, okay? So let's go ahead and actually start doing the rope portion. So again, I have 1 bead and I'm going to be building another unit of 4, so I need to pick up 3 beads. And I'm just going to go back through this 1 bead here. And now you can go around again if you like, if you really want a nice strong thick rope, but otherwise take your needle and you're going to go through the bead and rotate it towards yourself and pull through. And now, as you can see, I have 2 beads in my next unit, so I only need to pick up 2 more beads. And now I'm going to go through this bead here. And go through this bead here. And now again, just take that whole piece and rotate it towards yourself. And now you're going to go through that bead there. And you're going to pick up 2 more. because you have 1 and 2, and this is 3 and 4. So you go through that bead and go through that bead right there in the center. And again, just rotate your work. And now you'll end up going through the center bead again. And you already have this bead ready to go. So you'll thread through there, pick up 1 bead, thread through that bottom bead there. And now you'll thread through this center bead one more time. And now what you're going to need to do is thread through this side here. And you're going to take your work and you're going to rotate it so that you're looking at that top unit. And as you can see, this top unit is flimsy because it is not attached, and that's what this next step is going to do. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to take our needle and go through this top one here. And again, this is where you got to go one at a time, otherwise you'll lose that sort of structure. And you just go through all 4 beads there, making sure to go through that other one twice. And now you're all set to do your next unit. So this was our top. So now I'm just going to rotate it back. And now we're ready to build on that next unit. So I'm going to do this one more time. I'm going to do it a little faster. So your first unit, you're always going to pick up 3 and go through that first one. Rotate it and go through that middle one. Pick up 2 more. Go through the bottom. Go through that top bead. Rotate it. Go through that center one. Don't poke your finger with your needle. Pick up 2 more beads. Go through the bottom. Go through the center. And coming to that last unit there, we already have our 3 beads. There we go. And through that side bead that's already there. Pick up 1 bead. Go through that bottom one. And now get your needle back and rotate it towards the top there. Rotate your work and just go through those 4 beads at the top. So there you have your tight little unit at the top, and now you just flip your work back and you're ready to add on another unit. And you just keep working in that same fashion and you'll have your cubic right angle weave rope in no time. Another video I recommend for you to watch is how to do right angle weave. If you're not already familiar with that, it'll definitely help you understand how to do the cubic right angle weave. Also, we do have a video for how to tie off and weave in additional thread, which you'll need to do as you work through your project. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and you can find all of these supplies at Beadaholique.com.